Okay, so 3 essential steps to quit drinking and start living. I want to start off by giving you a little bit of feedback on what is alcohol costing you, which is the task that you did today. Judith says that alcohol has cost her time with her family, and that is so true. And I think a lot of us forget that. We forget how much time it's taken from us. When I think of my drinking career, I was either planning the drinking, doing the drinking, recovering from the drinking. It took so much time. I had a coaching client, an American lady, who was just about to retire. And she said to mark her retirement, she's going on a world cruise with her husband. And it was a really fancy cruise and it lasted for months. And she said, I have to be sober for that because I've been on lots of cruises and it's just a blur because she's just drinking the whole time. But she wanted to do a sober cruise. So we worked very hard together. She got to her goal. She went on the sober cruise and she called me when she got back and she said it was the most amazing experience and she'll never forget it. She kept all these diaries and scrapbooks and it's a beautiful story. So she didn't lose her time because especially as you get older and then you retire and you lose that kind of structure in your day that you have when you go out to work. So your retirement can just melt away from you if you drink too much. The recovery journey, I gave you that rule of thumb that a rehab doctor gave to me. He said that so for every year that you drink, allocate a month for your recovery. And I see that Tracy in particular, she said that she felt daunted. I think her recovery journey would be about 3 years. But I don't want you guys to think that for 3 years, you're going to be climbing the walls because you haven't got a drink. Far from it. That craving period will last a couple of months at the most. When I say recovery journey, what I mean is the benefits. The benefits will keep coming in and keep coming in. And that really surprised me because I knew that I would feel better and I would look better if I stopped drinking. But I didn't realize that I was going to regain my energy, my creativity, my joy in life, my enjoyment of everyday pleasures. Those things, they come in quite slowly, but really your recovery journey is a long one, but it's a good one because you're getting back all of the things that you've lost. Because our brains and our bodies are amazing. Once we stop poisoning ourselves on a daily basis, they can start healing and they do it very well. Now, Judith feels that her recovery journey would be a lifetime because she was worried that alcohol would always be pulling her towards it. Our approach at Tribe Sober is different to that because our experience is that it takes 3 months of really hard work and then maybe another few months to find some new interests, some new hobbies, and to reconfigure your life, basically, to build a life that you love, an alcohol-free life. So that's a year. And then you're done, really. Then you just go off and you live your life and you don't have to struggle because you just won't be tempted to drink. As long as you've done the mindset work, you will no longer see alcohol as something desirable and you just won't want to drink. Judith, it won't take a lifetime, I promise you. It'll take a few months of hard work and a bit of tweaking to your life, and then you're done. Marion felt that she'd lost herself. Yeah, I really identified with that. You just lose touch with yourself. You can't remember what you like anymore. So very easy to lose ourselves. And that's one of the many joys of sobriety. You reconnect with yourself, with who you are and what you really want out of your life. So Marion's now excited. Most of you that did today's task are feeling excited. So that's fantastic. And Marion's going to build her sobriety superpower, which obviously thrilled me because if you look at the front of our website, it's all about sobriety as a superpower. And I really believe it is because once you've got sober, you get courage, you get confidence, and you think, I can do anything really. I did this really hard thing. What else can I do? Bring it on. And Tracy, I loved what Tracy said about being curious about what her life will look like in a year's time. I certainly didn't realize how much my life would change, and many of us in the tribe had no idea at the beginning what a huge change this would be. So after the boot camp, what are your next steps going to be? What are we going to help you to do? We want to build on your boot camp wins, which are considerable. We want you to stay curious and learn more. You've experienced the power of community. We want you to start to thrive in your alcohol-free lifestyle, because you're at the beginning and that's the most difficult bit. But you just need to get through this difficult bit. And that's why the community is so great, because we'll get you through. And get ready for a year of transformation. Be patient. Just be curious, because your life will change dramatically in 1 year. But you must give it a year. And remember that if you quit drinking for a year and then you don't like it, that's fine. You can go back to drinking, can't you? But I've never met anyone that's clocked up a year of sobriety and they go, nah, I think I'll start drinking again. It just doesn't happen. This webinar for you, if you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, if you know that you're done with alcohol, which many of us knew for years, but we just didn't know how, did we? We didn't know how to make a change. Or if you've tried and failed to quit many times, my goal is that at the end of this webinar, you're going to feel inspired, motivated, and driven to take action. So if you're already in our top 20, fantastic. But if you're not, I hope that you'll feel inspired to sign up. You'll also realize that your little drinking problem has given you an opportunity to create a happier and healthier life. And you're going to understand the 3 essential steps that you need to take to get started on this life-changing journey. And you're going to learn more about our top 20 offer. The usual style of a webinar is you get lots of free content and then there's an offer. I thought I'd let you have a little peek at the offer now. We're taking 20 people on a lifetime journey. The offer is a 20% discount on annual membership, plus 3 bonuses and a place in the top 20. I'll go into that towards the end, but if anybody is feeling inspired and driven to take action already and wants to make sure that they get a place, then just go to 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭, click on the top 20 banner. If you sign up for annual membership, then use the coupon code BOOTCAMP and you'll get your 20% automatically. So, webinar, 3 essential steps. Now, you might be thinking, how will I have fun if I don't drink anymore? How will I even socialize without drinking? And will I be fun anymore? You might be thinking, how's it even going to work? I certainly was. And this is where Helen comes up. So Helen came to a boot camp in 2024. She's now 15 months alcohol free. She lost loads of weight. She saved thousands of pounds. Helen went on a holiday to Ibiza, which I gather she went to quite a lot when she was drinking. But she went when she was 3-4 months sober, and she had an amazing time. And I've met Helen in the flesh, and I can assure you she's lots of fun. You can have fun. I do admit that there's a bit of a sober awkward period to begin with when you don't feel comfortable in your skin. But after a few months of persevering, of socializing without alcohol, you'll find your natural personality will come back and you'll have fun, and you'll even remember the fun the next day. What about if you're thinking, I don't have time for this. I've got a full-time job and a family. I've got enough WhatsApp groups in my life. Grania had tried for decades to quit drinking. She's got a really good career. She's got a family. But she told her family that at 7 p.m. every evening, she's going to go to her bedroom to study for an hour. So she went to her bedroom, she closed the door. Family were a bit horrified, I gather, to start with, but they soon got used to it. And she just went through our online course, did a bit every single day. It took her a few months, but she nailed it. She's now got much more time and much more energy. What if you're thinking, how will I relax at the end of the day? How will I manage my stress without my glass of wine? How will I take the edge off? Well, meet Julie. Julie struggled with her wine habits. She drank every evening to take the edge off, to unwind. But she's now more than a year alcohol-free and loving her life. And just look at the difference in these pictures. Amazing. What if you're thinking, but I've been drinking for decades. Surely it's too late to change now. Is it even worth it? The damage is done. Meet Roz. She was 70 when she joined Tribe Sober. She'd been drinking like me for 40 years. She felt really low. She was in tears at her first Zoom meeting with us, but she's now more than 4 years alcohol-free, happier and healthier than in years. And she's busy paying it forward as a Tribe Sober ambassador. So on to me. I'm the same age as Roz, so we're the senior members of Tribe Sober. My story is very common, really. I went from social drinking in teens, 20s, 30s, more to self-medication, and then on to dependency. I spent the whole of my 50s trying and failing to moderate. I drank for 40 years, but I was 10 years sober in May 2025. So I'm a qualified recovery coach. My corporate career was in training and development. I won't bore you with my entire drinking career story. You can listen to our very first podcast because it's all on there. But in a nutshell, I just highlight my 3 wake-up calls. In my 20s, I was a binge drinker. And at the age of 25, I got blackout drunk one night and decided to go into the bathroom, lock the door and have a bath. So I passed out in my bath. And fortunately for me, one of my flatmates decided to make sure I was okay and hammered on the door, got no response, dialed 999. And she got the fire brigade to knock the door down, and the medics had to resuscitate me because I'd been under the water and I wasn't breathing. So that's one crazy wake-up call. But did I change? Not at all. We just made it into a funny story. Oh, did you hear about Janet and her bath? What an idiot. Yeah, that was the first wake-up call. Second one was when I got breast cancer. The link between alcohol and breast cancer is quite well known now, but it was 2006 when I got it. And I didn't know there was any link. But of course, now I can look back and realize it was definitely partly due to my decades of heavy drinking. And then finally, at the grand old age of 63, I got a wake-up call that woke me up. By that time, I was having very bad blackouts, and I had a 6-hour walking, talking blackout when I was away with some friends for a weekend. I couldn't remember 6 hours of that day. I just lost it. And I think by then I knew that the breast cancer, I knew I was harming my body, but I then realized I'm harming my brain as well, and I'm getting older and it's not going in the right direction. So that was my final wake-up call. So I woke up after that weekend, said to the long-suffering husband, that's it, I'm not drinking anymore. And he said, wow, I've never heard you say that before. You always say, I'm going to cut down, I'm going to drink less. That had been my big mistake. I had to quit. And it's so much easier to quit than to try and moderate. I trotted along to AA, of course, and hated it. Just wasn't my scene. So I decided I was going to do it on my own. I was going to treat it as a kind of research project. So I educated myself. I built a toolkit. But most importantly, I found my people. They weren't the AA people, but I managed to find a one-day workshop in London. And there were about 12 ladies there, and all people like me, good jobs, nice families, drinking a bottle of wine a night, and knowing that's not sustainable. So it was lovely to meet each other, and we swapped numbers. We had a little WhatsApp group, of course, stayed in touch, and that did the trick for me. The other thing that I did once I got sober was that I found my passion, which has been running Tribe Sober for the last 10 years. Building a tribe since 2015. I ran in-person workshops. I did lots of media. We started the membership and started the podcast. But the one thing that literally changed my entire life was that I found my people. And I love this quote. Friendship is born in the moment when one person looks at another and says, "You too?" I thought I was the only one. So Tribe Sober is going to understand you. And Grania always says this to a new person. She says, "You've come home." And it always chokes me up. I don't know why. But yeah, you'll feel like you've come home. Why do we get stuck in our drinking? We think it's about willpower. It's not about willpower. They get stuck in that moderation trap because we don't want to give up alcohol, do we? So we think we'll just control it, we'll just drink a bit less, but we can't. Once we've crossed the line into dependence, that's it. People try and do it alone. I certainly did for 10 years because there's a lot of shame around drinking, especially for us women. My thought process was, I got myself into this mess, so I'm going to get myself out of it. I'm a strong person. I achieve everything I want, but I couldn't achieve this. Also, we don't know how. We don't know where to start. We trot along to AA maybe, but if that's not our scene, then we don't know what to do. So here's our 3 steps. Change your mindset, rewire your brain, and find your people. I'm just going to elaborate a little bit on each of those steps. Our brains get hijacked, don't they? We've got this endless marketing on every movie we watch, every TV program, every magazine we look at. Alcohol is there looking glamorous. They never advertise the people vomiting in the streets or the sordid side of drinking, do they? So we've got the marketing, and then we've, of course, got the societal norms. Many of you have already experienced this. If you say, "Oh, I'm not drinking for a while," people go, "What?" You say you're not smoking, then well done. But say you're not drinking, it still seems to be the only drug we have to justify not taking. So in our society, we just think it's normal to drink. Alcohol has been normalized, and we've been programmed to drink. I like to think of our subconscious minds like a computer, and it's got this software in it, and the software says drink because we've been brainwashed for decades, especially us women. So how are you going to change that mindset? We've got to deprogram our brain, basically. We've had decades of big alcohol educating us. Now we're going to educate ourselves independently. So get the facts, do the research, read the books, listen to the podcasts. Knowledge is power. When I think of all those decades, I had no idea what I was doing to my body and my brain with this stuff. So get the knowledge, do the work, overturn your limiting beliefs. My limiting belief was I can't socialize without alcohol. So I forced myself to socialize without alcohol again and again until I managed to do it. But it's work. You have to do the work. And once you do the work and you overturn your beliefs and you deprogram your brain, you start seeing through the marketing bullshit, and then you can laugh at it. I play the 5-minute game with Netflix movies now. Put on a movie, think how long till alcohol comes out, till the real star of the show. And it's usually a couple of minutes at most. It'll be a big glass of wine for the glamorous lady and a glass of scotch for the macho hero. So how to change your mindset? Well, reframe the issue. You don't have a drinking problem. You've got an opportunity to completely change your life. So please get excited, be curious, be brave, be vulnerable, and share your feelings, because you're going to gain so much more than you lose. Because that's why we don't want to give up, isn't it? We think that we're going to lose things, but in fact, we're going to gain things if we really analyze it. You're going to lose hangovers, anxiety, self-loathing, regret, excess weight, and poor quality sleep. I don't know about you, but I'm very happy to let all that go. And you're going to gain better health, more energy, less anxiety, self-worth, a sense of peace and freedom, which is priceless. You'll get more time and you'll get more money. So let's think about how we rewire the brain, because drinking alcohol certainly rewires our brain. So now, a bit like deprogramming, we're going to dewire our brain, change the wiring. So it's back to willpower, which doesn't work. It'll work for a while, but it's not sustainable because it's a finite resource. It's like a muscle, it gets fatigued. So forget willpower, change your mindset, get excited, and then rewire your brain with repetition. That's the only thing that works, repetition. It's no good saying, I want to quit drinking, like many of you said on day one in boot camp. I'm sure you do, and I believe you, but your subconscious mind won't take any notice of that. Your subconscious mind needs action rather than words, doesn't relate to words. So remember, your brain at the moment is wired to drink, and you've got to rewire it, rewire that deep neural pathway that you've built over decades. Just wanting to quit drinking isn't enough. Your brain is only going to be persuaded by repetition. So I'm sure you're aware that about 40% of our daily actions are automatic. We wake up, we brush our teeth, we have breakfast, we drive to work, and we're not really deeply engaged in those tasks. We're on automatic pilot because that's how our brain works. Our drinking habit is automatic as well. So what we need to do is override that drinking habit. And we do that by taking a pause before we reach for that drink. We have to be aware, and rather than just acting on that craving, just take a breath and pause. And that pause is the neuroplastic moment. That's the golden windows. I'm not going to have a drink. I'm going to let my neuroplasticity fire up. Take a non-alcoholic drink or do something else, go out for a walk, and then the rewiring will begin. The research has shown that it takes 66 days to build a new habit. And if you slip up, then get right back on, because you're still building that new neural pathway. Discomfort is the currency of growth. We need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So if you want to drink, then take a pause, drink something alcohol-free or do something else. And the only way to get comfortable with discomfort is to practice it. Do it again and again until it no longer feels like discomfort at all. That, in a sentence, is how to quit drinking, isn't it? And here's the good news. You rewire your brain by not drinking. And once you've done that, your brain gets wired to do other hard things. And that's why we say sobriety is a superpower, because your sobriety gives you confidence, it gives you courage, and you're then wired to tackle other difficult projects. It's 1 month for every year that you drown. So this is the recovery curve, as we call it. So please be aware that you'll be up and you'll be down and you'll be all over the place. Because if you've been drinking to numb out your emotions, like most of us were, then your emotions are going to come back big time and you're going to be up and you're going to be down. At the moment, I hope most of you are feeling on a bit of a high at the end of the boot camp, especially if you managed a week alcohol-free. That's when a lot of people make the mistake of thinking, oh, I've done that boot camp now, I'm fixed. You're not fixed. I'm sorry, but it takes quite a bit longer. You do need to put some other things in place and find some kind of community to keep you on track. Step 3, find your people. Let's just remind ourselves why we need community. We need positive role models, and that's why Tribe Sober is great, because we've got people at all stages of the journey. The newbies, they can talk to someone that's just a little bit ahead of them in the journey and say, oh, I'm struggling with this. And then that person will say, oh, when I was at that stage, this is what I did. So this role modeling is very important, as is the encouragement, support, and the accountability. You do need a new tribe for this journey, because you're going to have to maybe take a little break from your drinking tribe. I had drinking buddies, and I had to pull away from those people for a while. You need a new tribe, because you don't need to stand there with other people when they're drinking and they're all telling you that you're boring and why don't you have just one and lighten up a bit. You don't need that, do you? So get a new tribe, people you can relate to at this stage in your life. Community connects. I'm sure you've heard us say connection is the opposite of addiction. Brené Brown talks about the power of vulnerability, and community connects people on the same path, and we all understand each other. And there's such a magic for us when we take people from just random people that sign up with us from all over the world, and we put them in a group, and because they've all got this common struggle and because they're all prepared to share and be vulnerable, the connection that happens is magic. It really is. And community can be fun. Obviously, it's a very serious subject, but we have a cartoonist in our tribe, and she does these lovely little strip stories. Sarah knows how it works because she's also been there. So here's a little testimonial from Sarah. She's quite an introvert, but she says, to my great surprise, I was soon all over the groups, connecting and enjoying the chats, sharing information and ideas. And she says, I had no idea what was missing before. And this is Lynn, who is one of our Breaking Free graduates. She's just coming up to her 6-month soberversary. And she said something lovely at the end of Breaking Free, because a bit like Sarah thought she was too introverted to be in a community, Lynn didn't really think she needed a community because she's very strong and independent. But she said, I never knew I needed a community until I had one. I love that. Are we your people? That's what you need to ask yourself, don't you? A little bit about us. There's 300 of us at all stages of the journey, mostly female, as you probably gathered, and we're mostly a bit older. The demographics always being 50 to 75, I'd say. And they're mostly from UK, US, and South Africa. Here we are. I thought I should introduce us all briefly. So myself and Monica, we run Tribe Sober, basically. And then you've got Lynette, who has been with us for years, and she is our head coach. She's got her own coaching business, but she's very connected to Tribe Sober, and she's wonderful. She comes to lots of our Zoom meetings. And then we've got Lucy and all our ambassadors and our cheerleaders. And these guys are all volunteers. Lucy is amazing. She comes to lots of our Zoom meetings, and she gives so much of her free time. And so do the ambassadors and cheerleaders. They all got sober with Tribe Sober, and they're all passionate about sobriety, and they all give their free time so generously just to work with new people and help them and share their experience with them. I think that speaks so loudly about sobriety, doesn't it? What a joy it is to get it for yourself and then to want other people to join you in sobriety. Here's Bontle, who's a tribe member.
Many years I tried myself to stop drinking, and it's not easy when you don't have the right support and if you don't have people that are really rooting for you. I'm now enjoying the fruits of sobriety, all thanks to Tribe Sober and the amazing community I found.
This is Susanna from US.
She's been wanting to quit drinking for like many years, 2 decades in fact. And you have no sobriety or periods of sobriety, and you want that permanent change of perspective, belief. This might be the place for you. It sure was for me.
Tribe Sober is a place of transformation, and Tribe Sober membership is like a ticket. So it's going to take you on a journey. It's going to take you from these places. This is the moderation swamp, And this is obviously a young lady that's a bit hungover, and it's going to take you to the bunny fields or sunlit beaches of sobriety. Try and focus on the destination. When you book a holiday, you're not thinking about, oh, I'll have to get myself to the airport and then I'll have to hang around there and change planes and I'll arrive in the middle of the night. You don't focus on all that hassle. You focus on the beach. You think about the hotel. You think about what you'll be able to do in this country when you get there. I think that's the way to treat this as well. Because where you're heading, guys, is to destination Soberland. And trust me, it's a beautiful place. And you'll have better health, better relationships, authentic friends, and you'll have beautiful sleep as well. That's something that I wasn't expecting. I remember when I hit 60, I was exhausted. I remember thinking, oh, this is what it's like to be old. It wasn't my age, it was my wine. I'm much older than 60 now, and I'm full of beans. So you'll look better. And sobriety is a springboard to personal growth. Sobriety is just the beginning. 10% of the recovery journey is quitting drinking. The rest is building a life that you love, a different kind of life. And you're going to have energy and motivation to find your purpose. So the route to the destination, we have 3 pillars in Tribe Sober membership. We've got community, accountability, and knowledge. And we guide you along a journey. I'm not going to go into all this in detail, but we've got 6 steps here. We take care of you when you're new. We do the onboarding, and then that takes you all the way through to preparing, implementing, maintenance, healing, and then finally lifestyle change. So there is a process and a journey and a roadmap. So what will you get as a tribe member? Community is at the heart, which you've probably gathered, but you will get much more than that. You're going to get essential knowledge. We've got a member journey and a member's vaults that you can spend time in and learn the essential stuff. You're going to get accountability via trackers, Zoom meeting, and fully engaged chat groups to keep you on track. In your small group of 20, those of you that are doing the top 20, you'll always get personal attention from myself, Monica, Lynette, and our ambassadors. Knowledge is power. Your logical brain needs to know why you're doing this. In our member journey course, we've got 7 modules. We take you through the psychology, the biology, and the neuroscience. And we can track your progress. The member journey takes you from day 1 right through to your first soberversary. So it goes for a year. And we can track your journey. We can go in there and see how far you've got with the course. So if we see that you're a bit stuck and you're not making progress, we can just get in touch and say, hi, do you want a bit of help? Or are you struggling with the tech? Or what's going on? And remember, once you've done the work, once you've learned all this stuff, you can never unlearn it. I like to think that we spoil drinking for people because it's very hard to enjoy drinking when you know all this stuff. Eventually, once you've got all this stuff in your brain, once you really understand it, you can't unlearn it and you'll lose any desire to drink. You just won't want to drink. And that's very different from feeling deprived and having to resist for the rest of your life. And we also have a members vault, which is packed with information and valuable content. It's got a search bar, so anything you want to know, you just put it in the search bar. For example, if you're craving a drink, then type in craving and it will give you all sorts of tips and podcasts and articles. Accountability and support. We're going to have daily check-ins in the top 20 accountability group. We've got trackers. There are 4 Zoom meetings a week, actually 5 if you count the one in the US as well. Advice and support from the team and the ambassadors. We don't want to overwhelm you in the membership, because I've joined a few memberships and they send me all this stuff and I think, oh, I haven't got time for this. We believe in transformation over information. So that's why we like to guide you on a success path and spend a lot of time in community. The Top 20 is a new initiative, and we borrowed the model from the Breaking Free program. Breaking Free takes 20 people through a 3-month program, and we've now run Breaking Free 7 times, and the groups have always gelled really well. It's been beautiful to watch, all striving for group success. So we're going to use that model. We're taking our next 20 Tribe Sober members through this 3-month journey together. They'll get personal attention, they'll build close bonds, I'm sure. So all you need to do to join that group is go to 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐷.com and hit the Top 20 banner, which will take you straight through to the sign-up page. And if you use the code BOOTCAMP, you'll get 20% discount on annual membership. The investment, please don't think of Tribe Sober membership as a cost, because it genuinely isn't. It's an investment in yourself, your future health and happiness. The full price annual membership is $300 or £250 or 2,500 rand. So if you sign up today, you can claim a 20% discount and 3 bonuses as well. I'll talk about the bonuses in a minute. So 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐷.com, click on the Top 20 banner. And the thing is, you'll recoup your investment really quickly by not buying alcohol. And I think you've had a bit of a shock, some of you, working out what you do spend. So I looked at those generous people that shared with us how much they spend on alcohol in a year. And I did the maths and I figured out how much time it would take to recoup an annual membership. Christine in the US and Nicole UK, it would take them just 3 weeks. Marion, it would take a month. Tracy, 6 weeks. And Judith, 10 weeks. So you're going to recoup your investment quickly, and then you can start saving something amazing. And I would recommend that you try to do that. We've got one lady that's got a jar, and she calls it her cruise jar because she likes going on cruises. She's a Brit. She puts £10 a day in there because that's what she used to spend on alcohol. And as soon as she's got enough, she books a cruise. If you're wondering annual or monthly, we would recommend annual because that makes such a commitment to really doing this thing and hanging in for a whole year. Our annual is structured in the way that you just pay for 10 months and you get a further 20% discount and 3 bonuses. So the annual plus 3 bonuses, you're going to pay just $240. But if you pay monthly, then you'll be paying $360. So it's quite a big difference. The offer is to join our Top 20. We're going to start this off with a masterclass. The first hour will be just intros. You're going to share your story, tell us about yourself, where you live, what you do, so that you'll really get to know each other. And I'll also share the Tribe Sober toolkit with you so that you'll have some tools to start off with. So that'll give you a flying start. And then we've got Patty Clark that did a journaling workshop for some of us last month, and it was great. And she's volunteered to do it again for the Top 20. So you'll experience the power of a small group on the same path and make this your year of transformation. Quick recap. We'll be getting you to check in daily. You'll get your journaling class, 4 Zoom meetings, plus the US one as well, mutual support and encouragement, and access to the member journey course and the members vault. Let's just take a quick look at those bonuses. We've got a masterclass for you. That's something that you can go through on your own. It's self-study, so it's a series of short videos and a workbook. It'll take you 3 hours. half an hour an evening and get it nailed in a week. You'll get our podcast playlist. We've curated a playlist. We thought, what do people need to hear at what stage? So we've got a nice mix, and it's all set up so that you can have it on your phone and they will just come up one after another. We recommend that you listen to one a day, and that'll get you through your first 100 days. And bonus 3 is what we call Bootcamp on Demand. All the content from the bootcamp in one place. I worked out what the savings would be if you book annual membership, if you get your 20% discount, and what you've saved on the bonuses. The savings would be $2,400, £190 or $240. So I think that's quite a nice saving. We're going to focus on the top 20 for 3 months. That'll be really supercharging their sobriety for 3 months. And then at the end of that 3 months, we'll transfer them to membership. So you'll really get intensive support for the first 3 months. Are you still on the fence? How many years has alcohol kept you trapped? You heard me talk about that study that the average time is 11 years. 11 years of struggling in shame and silence before reaching out for help. So why don't you end your struggle today? You've got 3 choices now, haven't you? You can either do nothing, stay stuck in the struggle place 11 more years. Your life's going to stay the same. You certainly won't develop your life because we don't evolve when we drink too much. We just get stuck. It's like Groundhog Day again and again. And you can guarantee that your drinking is going to get worse. So that's one choice. Or you can think, I've done boot camp, I'm good to go now. But that's a mistake as well, I promise, because your motivation will fade. You'll be back to day one. I do get calls from people saying, oh, I did your boot camp and it was great. And I was sober for 3 weeks, but now I'm back to day one and I don't know what to do now. So don't make that mistake. Or you can enter our safe space of transformation and begin your life-changing journey. Come join us, fulfill your potential, and become the person you were meant to be. At this point, you need to choose your hard. You've got 2 hard choices. If you decide to quit, you will have to go through a period of adjustment. It's going to be hard for a few months. But please be curious, listen and learn, and your tribe will get you through. Because it's going to be so much harder to keep drinking, keep becoming more dependent, more isolated, more anxious, and putting your health at risk. Still on the fence? Have a think about what alcohol has stolen from you. Isn't it time just to say enough? Look at all these things it steals: sleep, looks, health, time, money, peace of mind, energy and motivation. It keeps you trapped in Groundhog Day, same old. Wouldn't you like to have an adventure instead? Because if you carry on drinking, you know what's going to happen. But if you quit, you've no idea what's going to happen, and I think that's quite exciting. Wouldn't it be worth it just to be alcohol-free without feeling deprived? To break free from guilt, blame, and shame, to end the struggle and begin to love yourself again, to wake up full of energy and joy. So begin your transformation today. This week in boot camp, you've got to know us. You understand who we are, what our approach is. So think about what you've achieved in just 1 week in boot camp and imagine what you could achieve in a whole year as a Tribe Sober member. And the cart closes on the 10th of July, or when we get to 20 people. And we're doing that not because we want to give you a hard sell. We're not really like that. But we want you to make your mind up, because procrastination is the devil in this thing, because you can't keep kicking the can down the road. You've probably been doing that for years and years. So now it's time just to make that decision. Registration closes 10th of July. Yeah, so go to tribesober.com, hit the banner, and I'm going to leave you with one of our lovely ambassadors, Ellen.
My name's Ellen. I'm 55 years old, and I decided to quit drinking just over 6 months ago. It was whilst listening to a podcast one day, I came across this lady who struck a chord called Janet Gorham. She had set up a group called Tribe Sober. It was a global community with people on there who had been sober for many years, some for many minutes, and everything in between. And so I immediately went onto her website and signed up, and have not regretted it. Every single day I tap into the WhatsApp messages. It's such a nice feeling. And by literally 6 months later, I feel like I know these women. We had a Zoom cafe on Saturday where we all check in. So I couldn't recommend Tribe Sober more to fill in that huge gap, which is community, support, help, love, tips, you name it. So get on, go and do it. Don't even hesitate for one moment. And good luck to you in your sober journey.